The purpose of this video is to give you a better understanding to what dwarf planets are. Throughout the video, we will be briefly explaining what a dwarf planet is, some examples of dwarf planets, and where they are in the solar system, and whether or not they are suitable for life. What is a dwarf planet? According to the International Astronomical Union, dwarf planets are celestial bodies that orbit a star and have enough mass to become round with its gravity, but still needs to clear its region of smaller rocks, and it must not be a satellite. This is different from the planets we know in our solar system, as they have all cleared the nearby area of debris. Dwarf planets are found beyond the orbit of the planet Neptune, and are most commonly found in the Kuiper Belt, which is basically the asteroid belt but much larger. Most dwarf planets have icy bodies with nitrogen and methane.
There are multiple planets which had been classified as dwarf planets in our solar system. One of these planets is Pluto. Pluto is a dwarf planet that had been classified as the 9th planet of the solar system until 2006. The International Astronomical Union decided to classify Pluto as a dwarf planet after discovering larger rocky bodies. Pluto mass is 0.2% of Earth mass, and 60% of its mass is the rocky core. Even though Pluto has a small gravitational pulling force because of its small mass, it is still enough to capture its 5 moons. These moons are Charon, Nix, Hydra, Strix, Kerberos. The surface of Pluto is a thin, icy, mottled crust of nitrogen, water, carbon dioxide, and methane. The second dwarf planet that we're gonna talk about is Eris. Eris is the largest known dwarf planet, which has a mass of 27% larger than the mass of Pluto. It was the discovery of Eris that prompted the International Astronomical Union to reconsider the definition of a planet. Eris has only one satellite, and it is called Dysnomia, and both travel far beyond the Kuiper Belt. The surface of Eris is nitrogen and methane rich, but it is in a thin layer across the surface. Some scientists suggest that this thin surface is the condensed atmosphere of Eris, and it expands into gas when it gets closer to the Sun. All the dwarf planets discovered so far are either extremely cold planets or asteroids. Thus, we can say that it is almost impossible for a life to exist in dwarf planets. To conclude, dwarf planets are like true planets for being spherical, and they are different because they can sweep their orbits clear of other celestial bodies. 2 examples of dwarf planets are Eris and Pluto, which are relatively smaller than the Earth's moon. It is impossible to find life on dwarf planets because of atmosphere and surface states on these planets.